Alright, so like another video in the garage. I literally just filmed one, but I want to film this one too. KX450X review after 30 hours. So I've had this bike 30 hours, and we'll just talk about a couple of the things that I think are necessary, a couple of things that I feel like are, you just add to it to make it better, cooler, whatever you want to say. So yeah, let's start up front. The KX450X 2025 comes with 8081 tires. Trash. Throw those away, especially front tire. Rear tire is not as bad, for me at least, but I'm a front end steering type of guy. 8082 way better. Even some of the moto guys use that tire, so just go with that. And I'm going to talk about everything. I'm going to talk about everything here. Plastics. Let's talk about that. Some people said the plastics are pretty brittle on the Kawi, or they look bad after a certain amount of time. I really don't think that. I think they look pretty good, considering this bike's been through a lot. I'm pretty hard on plastics through here from my boots, and that's just I'm just harder on that than some guys are. So, because I grip a lot with my legs. The frame is held up nice through here, a little bit of black. It's got on my boots a little bit. My boots have a little bit of like almost aluminum color, but that's because I use a Scotch-Brite pad to shine this up. Plastics are a little beat up through here, but it's just the graphic. It's not the plastic at all, like the underneath. The seat's held up nice. It's got some nice grip to it. The Kawasaki's still there for the most part. It's starting to wear off a little bit. And this bike's not even washed from the last time I rode it. Yeah. It doesn't come with a skid plate. Definitely get a skid plate racing off-road or even racing motocross. I've got Factory Connection Showa on this, so it's not stock components, but the outer tubes, the inner tubes, and the shock body they've been pretty bulletproof. No issues with that at all. Couple of things that I don't like about that is I don't like how the rear shock bolts to the frame, because the way it is I don't feel like the nut is very short. I'm getting a phone call. That should be okay. Alright, so I actually just stopped filming, but I want to put a little thing in here in between. I did go to different top clamps for the handlebars, because I ended up bending the stock one. So the stock one has a separate bar clamp, two-piece, and I went to a solid piece from Ride Engineering with different elastomers down underneath, just their stock KX ones, their Mimic ones, because I kept tweaking the bars. So these are Renthal bars, fat bar, doesn't bend. The bars will not bend, but the clamp kept getting tweaked, and then so I was using the Ride Engineering clamp, and then I was using the stock elastomers, so the ones that come with the bike, and I kept tweaking it still. So what I ended up doing was I went to these elastomers from Ride Engineering, and it seems to have eliminated the problem. So especially when you hit trees and you hit other stuff, that is the way to go. Ride Engineering, one-piece clamp, then you won't have any issues with that. Obviously, I've changed other things on the bike, and I'm it's a 30-hour review. I'm not going to go over all the parts. Maybe I'll do a video where I go through all the parts on the bike, but basically it's 30-hour review, and things that I feel like absolutely need to be changed. That is one thing that absolutely needs to be changed right there, is that, because you are going to tweak it and it is going to drive you nuts. So go to the Ride Engineering, you have no more problems. I'm getting phone calls all the time these days, so sorry for the interruption. Going back to the bike. See, everything seems to be holding up okay. Like I said, bike's got 30 hours on it. A couple things that I would recommend are on the radiator right here. There's like a little plastic screw that's a plug. It's plastic. I would go to the Works Connection radiator plug, because the little plastic one, I would just be afraid of it like cracking over time just from heat and just like it leaking. There was a little bit of residue outside of it, not too bad, but I do worry about that. Speaking of radiators, I run regular Maxima, like I run the Maxima, whatever you want to call it, fluid for the radiators, just a regular one. It comes in like a regular Maxima can. This bike has not overheated and spit any of out, like any excess out. So I've been pretty happy with that, especially in the woods and the 450. I was really worried about heat compared to my 300, and it really hasn't been an issue. So I'm very, very happy about that. And continuing with that, like plug, I was talking about, I went to these plugs here from Works Connection, and then as well as the oil filler plug, because they are the screw kind, the flathead screwdriver kind, and I just feel like those are not very. I worry about them stripping. I worry about them like being reliable over time. So those have an Allen, and then this oil filler has a has like a socket cap to it. Other than that, everything's been pretty reliable. I would suggest, I haven't done it all the way, but the clamps here on the bottom of the radiators, some of them do have like regular clamps that you tighten, and some are just like kind of like a friction fit, like it's like a I guess it wouldn't be a friction fit, but you like tighten it or you loosen it by closing the two ends. It opens the circle, and then when you let go, it tightens it back up. I would just suggest going to like a regular style clamp, but it's weird because some of them have regular styles, but some don't, like from the factory. So I suggest going just to those. One thing that I did to prevent heat, and going back to that, is I got a Pro Circuit water pump cover and impeller that seems to work really good with the radiator system, and I'm very happy with that. Going on this side, you will see, if you can look right there, it's kind of dark, but if you can look, you will see like almost like moisture around this hydraulic clutch right here, the assembly, and then the cable goes down through and is right about there on the back side of that. I've actually rebuilt this hydro clutch with a Pro X rebuild kit, because this keeps happening. It's not a problem that's hurting performance, but I don't know why it's like this. If someone has any ideas, let me know. So I'm gonna have to dig into that. That's one thing that I don't like, is like, I have confidence in the motorcycle, don't get me wrong. I have confidence in the Kawasaki. I really like the bike. But one thing that is missing with especially makes me a feeling with that happening is like, I want everything to be perfect. And with that, it makes me feel like, well, is my hydro clutch gonna go out? And me being a person that likes the hydro clutch over a cable, because I don't know if it's because my first bike with a clutch was a KTM, and I've just always had a hydro, except for a couple bikes, and it just makes it easier for me, like in a way. Like I just don't have good clutch feeling, so when the hydro clutch just kind of does it for you, like I don't need that extra feeling with a cable. So that's one thing that I do worry about is stuff like that, with that hydro clutch. But hopefully I can figure that out and let you guys know. Most of the bolts seem to be holding up pretty well. I have noticed some things come loose over time, but that's normal. One thing that I didn't like is at the Iron Man GCC I did lose a seat bolt, which I mean I did have some falls that probably could have made that happen, but I do wish that it would have been a little bit like a little bit better of a system. I don't like this old style system where they have the nuts on the backside that fit into the plastic. I'd rather have something else where it's like it bolts to the subframe, something like that, like other bikes. Or the Beta has the button, which is sweet, and you just take the seat right off. Electronics have been really good. I've never had a issue where the bike won't start because of electronics. I did have another friend that has a regular 450 that did have a problem with the bike shutting off randomly, but it ended up being the gas. So with the, I believe it was VP, just had a problem with the gas, you know, like a bad batch. Got that changed out, and he's had no problems either. So not too worried about that. That seems pretty solid. One thing that I did have happen that I was not stoked about at all, the first race on the Kawi that I raced was at Syracuse, and I fell and tweaked the subframe pretty gnarly on it. Like the fender was pretty tweaked up, and I just wish that, well, I wish that wouldn't have happened because that was an expensive fix, but I got one used, so this is a used subframe, but it does its job. So I wish that would have been a little stronger. The Beta had a composite subframe, so if that ever cracked, that'd be also expensive. So same thing with the Husqvarna composite subframe. So I think that's just kind of the deal these days, is that they're either gonna flex or they're gonna crack. So take your pick. So, and then with the airbox here, I can take this off. You've seen in it before, but it's, and I haven't cleaned this. Like I said, I haven't washed the bike. I haven't done anything since the last time I rode it. It's this like toast. They call it like a piece of toast filter. It's flat and has this cage and stuff. And I haven't had any problems with that. I do notice that there is some, not like straight up dirt, but maybe some dust on the backside. Not super happy with that, but it's not a make or break. I like how this comes off. That's always nice. Yeah, really no major issues with the bike. Other than a couple flats, which happens, everything fits nice. It seems to fit together really good. And then like swapping the tires or like the wheels or putting on and off parts seems to be pretty good. Plastics fit good. Yeah, so going forward, I do like the bike, but that's about 30 hours worth of riding review, and yeah, it's a good bike so far. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.